Hello everyone, Adrienne here. So today, you are seeing me officially unemployed. Yes indeed. Friday, September the 28th was my last day of work at my office that I've been working at since January of 2017, and let's just say I'm glad to be gone because it was a source of a lot of stress for me, and the building itself was a huge source of allergic stuff going on with me, including throwing up. Wasn't really fun. And I had another panic attack on my birthday when I was in the office, so that kind of sucked. But I'm gone now. And I feel really good, except for the fact that the search for a new job begins. But that's okay. Stuff happens. It's fine. I'm not terribly worried about it, and I'm hoping for something either in the beauty industry or in the wine industry, something like that. I think either of those would really be fun. So now let's get into it. I'm going to show you guys what I got for my birthday because it's wonderful, and I'm just very excited to share it all with you. So first of all, let me just thank all of you out there who gave me birthday wishes on my Instagram page, on my YouTube channel, and also on Facebook. That was just so sweet of you guys. I really, really appreciate it. And Riri Phillips also wished me happy birthday. I think she was the first one to wish me happy birthday because by the time it hit September 25th in Australia, it was still September 24th, you know, here in the States. But that's okay. That's cool. She's such a sweetheart. So thank you, Riri. Really appreciate it. So I'm going to show you what I got for my birthday. So let's just get into it. Okay, so I'm going to show you a giant stuffed animal. It's probably not going to shock you what it is, but this was a gift from Kenny's mom. And it's adorable. And here we are. It is a giant stuffed Victor toy from The Hunchback of Notre Dame because she knows that I love the movie. It's my absolute favorite Disney movie ever because it's amazing and it's one of my favorite gothic novels ever. So this is a collectible. I think that this was made during the time that the movie actually came out, which was 1996, and she won it in a contest. She originally wanted Hugo because Hugo was smaller, but she got Victor, which I don't mind. I don't mind that at all because Victor's pretty awesome. I love Victor. So this thing is fucking massive. Check this out. I mean, I'm not a big person, but this thing is still huge. And I absolutely love it. He is adorable. And Kenny says, "Love, he's the only other man allowed in your bed." I'm like, okay, honey, that's fine. He's so funny. And very, very, very impressive collector's item there, definitely. So the next couple of things were also from Kenny's mom. So Kenny's mom works at our local Big Lots. And one day when we were there, when Kenny and I were just screwing around after work because we had nothing to do, I spotted a couple of pillows that I really, really liked. And this is the first one. It is furry gray on one side and then just like really soft plush on the other side. I just love it. It's gorgeous. I love this kind of shade of gray. It's beautiful. And it's super soft. I love how soft it is. It is so great. Then the other one, which is the one that mainly made me squeal with delight, was this one. Because this pillow was in Big Lots and I spotted it and I squealed with joy. And Kenny's mom was there, Kenny was there, and Kenny's mom apparently remembered that I absolutely loved this pillow, so it's all mine now. It'll definitely be in a prominent place when Kenny and I get our own place, and it's gonna be lovely because I love all things Paris. Why the fuck not? So the next couple of gifts I'm going to be showing you are from my friend Helen. She was kind enough to attend my recital by coming all the way over from the west side just to see me perform, so that's a really big deal. I've never had anyone do that. And then my friend Margie and her fiance also took the trip up from Samoa, California to go see my recital, so that was great. So I'm going to show you some of the gifts that she sent me. So first of all, antique jewelry. You cannot go wrong with antique jewelry. It is absolutely fabulous. So let me just show you what these are. So I'm going to start out with the earrings. So there are the earrings. They're gorgeous. As you may probably recall, I did wear these for my, you know, raging rampage about racism in the goth subculture. So I absolutely adore the earrings, but here's the pièce de résistance. The matching choker, which I also wore in that video. And the reason why this choker was just really sticking out to me was because this reminds me so much of the choker that Lady Hampshire, aka Kitty Soames, would wear in Dark Shadows. And I've always wanted a choker like that, but I could never find one, and voila, I found one. And it's an antique! And these definitely feel like real pearls, so I'm very impressed with this. It's positively gorgeous. And then another gift that she did send me in the mail was this. It is a fairy sitting atop, I guess it would be either a gargoyle or a troll or a green man, something like that. Whatever creature he may be, he is cute. And so as you can see here, the fairy has like goth clothing on and little elf ears and wings, and she's just so pretty. I love it. So, can't really see who the artist is, but it was done in 2012. Anyway, this is adorable. I love it. Thank you so much. I love it. So it definitely has made its place over here next to my books and next to my gargoyle and my portraits. So the next item that she did send me was this antique, I think she said it was a black fox pelt. And she did assure me, yes, it's antique. It was not made within the last half century, so I didn't feel as guilty owning it. Like Riri Phillips says, you know, if it's an antique or if the animal died of natural causes, then she feels better about collecting the bones or remains of said animal. And it's actually really soft, surprisingly soft. I did not expect it to be this soft from the pictures that she sent me, but it's really soft and it's really, really cool. And the fur actually has like little hints of red in there, and it's just really soft, man, and fantastic quality and just incredible. I just love it. So the next gift I'm going to show you is from my mom. So she and I were just laying around and watching HSN because we were bored, and that's what we do. And they were showing these pair of earrings that reminded us both of something very close and special to us, and that is Dark Shadows. So I'm going to show you. I'm only going to show you one of the earrings because the other one had the stone fall out, but I want to show you. So check out these earrings. Oh my god. And yes, those are real emerald. Like, mind you, it's not high quality emerald, but it's still emerald. So that's pretty incredible to consider all by itself. So the reason why these really stuck out to us and were really memorable to us is because in Dark Shadows, when they are in present day, you know, time frame, there are these pair of earrings that are mentioned in Dark Shadows that are emerald earrings that look almost exactly like this, and they are absolutely gorgeous. So Barnabas is just like, Josette's emerald earrings. And there's a point in the show where Willie actually steals them and tries to give them to Maggie Evans because he's creepy. But anyway, they play a really important role in Dark Shadows. See, here's the funny thing. They are described as Josette's earrings, but we never see Josette actually wearing them. We see Maggie Evans wearing them when she is dressed up as Josette, but we never see Josette herself wearing them. And another thing as well is that if you look at some of the scenes in 1795 where you were seeing Naomi Collins, who is Barnabas's mother, she is wearing these earrings. But the thing is, we never see Josette wearing these earrings, so we don't know if that was a glitch. We don't know if maybe that was a plot hole, or maybe they were a gift from Naomi to Josette, supposed to be after Barnabas and Josette got married. I don't know, but nevertheless, we never see Josette wear them, but they are somehow Josette's earrings. Dark Shadows logic. Seriously, these are real emerald. It's not high quality emerald, but they're still emerald, and that's awesome. I showed them to Kenny, and he was just like, ooh, I love the color. And another thing that my mom got me for my birthday was the best of Dana Carvey in Saturday Night Live, and she and I watched it last week, and I was just laughing my ass off. It was so funny. Oh, Dana Carvey's one of my favorite comedians now. He's almost up to the level of George Carlin for me. George Carlin is always going to be my #1 favorite comedian, and Dana Carvey comes in close second. It's pretty cool. He absolutely blew my mind this year with my birthday gift. Sometimes we try to give each other hints about birthday presents to kind of drive the other person crazy, and just like, God damn it, no, I want to find out. Ah! You know, I can't wait to see what it is. So, this year, he really, really, really has outdone himself. Kenny is just so sweet. Okay, so what he did when he was giving me the annoying hints before he actually gave them to me, he said, "Well, love, it's something that you're very passionate about." I'm like, yeah, that's a big help. That's really big help, dude. Yeah. And he knows better than to get me a gag gift because he knows not to tangle with the wrath, okay? We were on our way to the restaurant where we were gonna have dinner with his mom and his mom's boyfriend, and it was gonna be really fun. So he said, "Well, love," he reaches back to the back of his car and he says, "I didn't bother wrapping it, but here it is." And I broke down and bawled. I bawled like a little baby from how amazing this was. I was just totally blown away. So here's the reasoning why Kenny said, "Well, love is something you're very passionate about." So first of all, as many of you guys, you know me, and lots of you who know me like in person or know me, you know, closely, I love cooking. I absolutely love to cook. And there are a variety of different things that I will, you know, kind of chef up. Sometimes I'll just grab random shit from the pantry and come up with something. So there's that. I love cooking, okay? I rarely follow a recipe unless it's something that is complicated that I'm not familiar with making, such as, you know, my 2 recipes for absinthe ice cream that I made, the non-vegan one and the vegan one. And the thing is, I don't usually cook like sweet things. I usually cook like deep, savory, spicy, rich dishes. And I'm really good at pasta, okay? I'm good at pasta. Taking into consideration that Vincent Price was a connoisseur of food, and the fact that I love Vincent Price, and I knew that he had released a cookbook a while ago, years and years and years ago. Hell, I don't know. I don't know how long ago this was published, but I knew that he had a cookbook, and I'm like, oh man, I want to get a hold of Vincent Price's cookbook. It's so cool. It's so cool. So this is what Kenny meant when it was something that I'm very passionate about. I love Vincent Price and I love cooking, so it's really natural to put the 2 things together. While the recipes in here may not be vegan or vegetarian necessarily, I think that these could easily be reworked to be vegan or vegetarian. Maybe I can consult with some of my vegan friends about doing that, and maybe if you guys are interested, I might be able to chef up some Vincent Price recipes for you. So if you guys are interested in watching me cook or do a recipe out of here, then feel free to let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, because I love cooking. I absolutely love cooking. Last gift I'm going to be showing you guys is going to be these deck of tarot cards, and I got these from my friend Michelle, and I consider her my spiritual kind of guide slash advisor, kind of witchy friend, because I don't really have the time to devote to being a witch myself, but I definitely consult with her for spiritual and kind of energies of the universe kind of stuff. So she sent me this gift, which is the Cosmic Tarot, and it has a lot of Egyptian symbolism in it. Like if you look on the side right here, it has a little falcon like Horus, and then I think this is either an eagle or an ibis or something, but it's really cool, really neat to look at. And a lot of the symbols contained within here are definitely very Egyptian and very cool. So it's very exotic. I like it. It's really, really cool. So big thanks to everyone who sent me or gave me gifts for my birthday. I really appreciate it. They were all awesome. Absolutely adore it. And now to answer some of your guys' questions. There were some questions that I wanted to get to in my last Q&A video that I didn't get a chance to because I didn't want the video to be too long. So I figured this video would be a really good chance to, you know, answer those additional questions I didn't get to. Because I did get a few more people who wanted to ask some more questions, and that's perfectly fine. That's cool. That's cool, man. So my friend Brian of Brian Mancy asks, were you always goth, or did you have an awkward phase beforehand? For example, I was a bit of a chav before I was an emo kid, believe it or not. Brian, you always make me laugh. Thank you. So, yes, I did have an awkward phase. So when I first got into goth, I was about 10 or 11 years old, and I started out expressing myself outwardly at that point with a lot of darker clothes, and I experimented with makeup and it looked really bad. It was terrible. And then there was a stage where my dad got really sick of the way that I was dressed, it was just ridiculous, so he made me dress in normal clothes and I absolutely hated it. I would still read Gothic literature, but he would still yell at me and say, "You need to read nonfiction!" Yeah, okay. Because I wasn't getting enough of that in school, apparently. But anyway, so then after that point, I kind of jumped back into things for goth, and a lot of my circle of friends did drift toward the alternative kind of subcultures. There were some who were metalheads, there were some who were emos, and then my friend Gabby and I who were goth. And I will be perfectly honest, I did kind of adopt a few of the kind of emo styles of clothing that my friends would wear because I wanted to fit in so badly. But then, as time went on, I did develop my own sense of style, which was pretty great. So I'm glad I grew out of the awkward phase. And I still had brown hair too. La Petite 3 Malt asks, what pointers can you give to someone who is new to discovering opera and how one can appreciate it? So my number one tip for appreciating opera is to stay away from anything in the second half of the 18th century. Focus on 19th century Italian bel canto, because that entire movement of classical music that is known as bel canto is, all of the music was designed to bring out the best qualities of the voice. So obviously you're going to have your voice being at its absolute best at that point, and it's really, really cool. Further from that, I would recommend moving on to French Impressionistic music or Romantic music. Those two kind of genres of French classical music and French opera are fantastic. So you're looking for composers like Berlioz. You're also going to be going for Jules Massenet or Canet Saint-Saëns. So with the French Impressionistic movement, it took some of the elements from bel canto and kind of made them more dreamlike and made them more surreal and made them edgier, and it was pretty cool to listen to all that. So definitely focus on the French and Italian from the 19th century. You will love it. And also try looking for opera singers that have a richer kind of velvetier, if that's a word, voice, more velvety voice. There we go. So for tenors, I would recommend Roberto Lagna because he's fantastic. Oh my god, he's my favorite tenor. He is amazing, absolutely amazing. For mezzo-sopranos, I would recommend Alina Garancia. She's my absolute favorite mezzo-soprano ever. She's just so incredible. And then for sopranos, I would recommend Angela Georgiou. I would recommend Anna Netrebko, who's a Russian soprano, and she sung Lucia. She's so great. So great! She also sung in Anna Bolena in the starring role by Donizetti, of course, and she was also in La Traviata, and she's done an amazing job with that material. Now, as for baritones, oh, how could I possibly forget about mentioning Pavarotti, Luciano Pavarotti, one of my favorite tenors ever. And then another soprano I would recommend would be Maria Callas. You know, if you can't stand Maria Callas, something's wrong with you. Maria Callas was amazing. She was a lyric soprano, and if you guys haven't heard of her, please, for fuck's sake, check her out. She's amazing! Her Lucia was incredible, okay? Absolutely incredible. Then as for baritones, he was in the same production of Anna Bolena as Anna Netrebko was, and he played Henry VIII, or Enrico. So I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but if I do remember it, I will put it on screen for you guys, okay? Thank you. So those are my favorite singers. And I found that when you go for singers that are more expressive in the way that they sing, as well as the tone of their voices are a lot richer, then opera is not as irritating to listen to. Because I hate listening to sopranos and tenors that sound like they just stubbed their toe, okay? Ah! I don't need that, okay? I get enough of that whenever Roxy steps on my foot. So those are my two biggest tips. Look for singers that have richer voices, and go for Italian bel canto and French impressionistic and romantic in the 19th century. Definitely. Those are my two big tips. The Sara Monster asks, Name 3 countries you want to visit and live in before you die. I would love to live in the UK, I would love to live in France, and I would love to live in Italy. Also, if you could speak and understand any language fluently that you currently do not, which would you choose? So, I kind of touched on this in my last video. I would love to speak French and Italian fluently. Again, because of my ADHD, it's really difficult for me to construct sentences. And people who are hyperlexic and have ADHD have a hard time with constructing sentences in different languages, but they have a perfectly fine time with understanding what it is they are reading or listening to. It's really frustrating, but that's okay. So yeah, French and Italian, I would love to be fluent in those languages, and I'd also love to be fluent in Romanian, because I love the language of Romanian, and it's gorgeous. Okay, so Miss Erekle Lynn 1987 asks, what's your favorite hair dye and what shade of black do you prefer? Love your videos. Thank you, dear. So, as far as my favorite hair dye, I love using Iron Shine Brilliance, Color Brilliance or something like that, and the dyes that I would go for would have to be blue-black. I've never tried purple-black, but I'm hesitant to because of my skin tone. So, I really want to enhance the paleness and kind of tone down the olive undertones that I have in my skin, so I would prefer going with blue-black, and plus it just looks gorgeous against the sunlight and the moonlight anyway, and I love the shine that it gives, and it's just such an intense black. And then Crow Black Dream says, probably asked all the time, but what got you into the Gothic subculture? I would recommend consulting my 2 previous Q&A videos for your answer on that. Then my friend Alexandre, hailing from Greece, asks, which historical era do you prefer aesthetic-wise? Definitely the Victorian era. And if I had to choose a location along with the era, I would choose the Belle Époque movement of France, particularly Paris in the 19th century. And then she says, also, what book reviews should we be looking for in the near future? Lots of love. Thank you, dear. So, I definitely plan on reviewing Théophile Gautier because he's incredible. Guy de Maupassant as well, because he writes really good short stories and really good thrillers, and his Gothic novel, Like Death, was such a really intense psychological introspection into love and sadness and grieving and all that, so that was beautiful. I loved it. And then the one that I have been dying to review for you guys is The Castle Spectre by Matthew Gregory Lewis, because it's incredible. While I don't like that it was written in the kind of play format, I still loved the story. I really wish that he would have kind of done it in a more like novel kind of format instead of a play, or maybe he could have released both at the same time, but it really doesn't matter. Either way, I was still able to keep up with it. It was thrilling, it was fast-paced, it was terrifying, and you could really imagine like the screams of horror and the ghostly apparitions and these reactions of terror, and it's really underrated. I would have to say that it's an improvement on the concept of the Castle of Otranto, but obviously in the hands of Matthew Gregory Lewis it was made much better. Much better. And then another book I haven't read yet that I would like to read would be The Old English Baron. One of my friends, Kiriel, actually sent me a copy of that a while back, and I still haven't gotten around to it, so I'm sorry. The book lover's curse. You'll have to forgive me. I'm addicted! It's my addiction! I'm sorry. Okay. And then Alexandre 99 asks, what is the song you always cry to? I would have to say it's a handful. It's a handful of songs that I cry to. So, first one that is guaranteed to make me bawl every single time is The Show Must Go On by Queen. Oh my god, it is just such an emotional roller coaster to listen to that song, because it reminds me not to give up on my dream. And when I think of the story behind that song, when Brian May wrote it, and Freddie of course was dying of AIDS, Brian was very worried that Freddie would not be strong enough to sing it. So Freddie chugged a bottle of vodka, threw it aside, and said, "Let's do it, darling." And he did it. and he was amazing. I love Freddie. He was my earliest inspiration when it came to singing, so if AIDS wasn't going to hold him back, I'm not going to let others' bullshit hold me back either. Thank you, Freddie, for inspiring me. And then another song that makes me cry when I listen to it, not necessarily when I sing it, but when I listen to it, is Homo Fernand from La Favorite, because just the pain and the desperation and the borderline madness that Lenore feels when she is singing that aria is just so palpable, and that beginning with those French horns on the melody just kills me every single time. And it's really interesting to listen to this aria because if you take the female voice out of it, it does not sound like an opera aria written for a female role. It sounds very strong and masculine. Well, almost masculine, not quite masculine, but almost, just the way that it starts out. That's one thing I really loved about Donizetti, is that he wrote these really strong, powerful roles for women, specifically mezzo-sopranos, in a time where it was really rare to have mezzo-sopranos starring roles because they were all trouser parts. So that was kind of stupid, and there are still a whole bunch of trouser parts still in a lot of operas that are still performed today, and it's kind of annoying for me because as a dramatic voice type, unfortunately my voice type is way too heavy to play a trouser role, so I am somewhat limited in the parts that I can play as a dramatic mezzo, but fuck man, I can do Leonora or Lenore in La Favorita or La Favorite in that role. I would love to play that part. And also, what makes me cry is the overture from La Favorite, because it's amazing. It's the new intro for my videos now. If you listen to it, you know, when the crow is flying in, well, not the crow, but the raven is flying in front of the screen. The music that's playing is from the overture of La Favorita, and it's amazing. And the reason I cry when I listen to it is because I imagine myself getting ready to finally nail that fucking part. To finally get that part and perform the shit out of it. And just give it my all. If I were to sing as Leonore in La Favorita, La Favorita, if my opera career could begin and end with that, I would die a very happy girl. Let's just say that. Then another song that makes me cry would be Underneath by Tarja, and also I Feel Immortal by Tarja as well. And then a song, well, two songs actually by The Awakening that make me cry are Angeline and Beneath Your Feet. So both of those songs are just very romantic and touching and just incredible. And another one that I love is Now and Forever by Ego Likeness. Again, it makes me cry because it's so romantic and I love it. And Dwell in Faith asks, where is your favorite place to visit in New Orleans, Louisiana? Mine is the Anne Rice House. Now, unfortunately, last time I went to New Orleans, I did not get a chance to go to the Anne Rice House, but I am hoping I will visit that one day. I really loved the cemetery. I can't remember the name of it, but the cemetery that we shot in when I was in the pilot down in New Orleans, that was amazing. And Wax Museum that we went to in the French Quarter was also, wow. That was just so surreal, and that part where I was seeing the displays inspired by Edgar Allan Poe, that was really cool. That was really, really cool. So yeah, those few places are my favorite. And I also want to go to the Old Absinthe House in New Orleans as well in the French Quarter because it's the oldest absinthe house in the United States. I really want to go. I really want to go, man! My friend Michelle asks, what's your favorite thing to wear? Lately I've really been digging wearing anything with a Bardot neckline, and if you guys don't know what that is, it's an off-the-shoulder neckline, and I'm really loving off-the-shoulder dresses because they're just so romantic and they're so versatile, they're easy to dress up or down, and they're just gorgeous. They're just so gorgeous. And then she also asks, would you ever do any more DIY videos? If the opportunity strikes, maybe. If the opportunity or inspiration strikes, then maybe, definitely. And then she also asks, what is your current hair color routine? I am going to technically answer that in my skincare / relaxation video that I plan on making. I'm probably going to do it this Saturday when I wash my hair again. And then she also asks, what is the album you're playing on repeat lately? So lately I have been playing 30 Years War by Ego Likeness and When the Wolves Return by Ego Likeness and Anthology 14, I want to say, by The Awakening, because honestly The Awakening and Ego Likeness are two of my favorite bands on the planet, and they're absolutely incredible. And catch me on a day where I am just depressed or stressed out or just grumpy as all hell, and you put on Ego Likeness or you put on The Awakening for me, and I'm instantly in a better mood because I just love that music. Just love it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A, my life updates, and my birthday haul. And I will be seeing you guys soon with a couple of other videos. I will be doing some book reviews, and I do plan on doing a promotional video right after this. You'll see. It's really important. Then I'm going to be doing my relaxation, pamper, skincare, hair care routine video on Saturday, because that's when next I need to wash my hair. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later. Bye!